Hello. Right. What am I doing today? Well, you've more or less seen what I'm doing. I'm trying to get a good photograph for my album. My album, we've finished. We have finished on the 1st of November. We finished mixing the album. It sounds absolutely amazing. I'm really happy with it. It's been months of preparation, months of recording, maybe years of recording. And it's a double album, 2 CDs, 20 tracks, old songs and new songs. And they're all, every song has been re-recorded with proper musicians, participating in it, and real instruments. So it's very much what I had in mind the first time I set out to record my music, basically. And it's sounding incredible. And as I was finishing the album, I started designing the cover for it, right? So, Alexa, stop. Sorry about that. So one of the things about designing an album cover is photographs. The album is going to be a triptych. So it's going to be 2 sides that open up, yeah, with trays, the 2 CDs, and in the middle, a booklet. This booklet is getting longer and longer as we speak. It's now 32 pages because I want to credit everybody that worked so hard to record the stuff, and I've had local musicians, international musicians. We're basically 19 musicians and myself. So I'm really happy with the end product, and I completely overshot my release date. Of course, I thought it was going to be, and I said it was going to be 27th of July, and we're at 13th of November now. So yeah, never do that again. Anyway. I want it to be right, so I'm taking my time, and nobody's rushing me. So, but I sat down with Catherine and debated for days, weeks maybe, to see what the design would look like, and even to name the album. She came up with an amazing title for the album, "Falling Then Flying," right? So we were we were having a bit of a laugh because we were writing lists down and laughing at some of the ridiculous stuff that came up, like, I don't know, the Little Orange Book of Jupiter or something like that. That was actually an album title, yeah. But anyway, "Falling Then Flying," I love it. It basically refers to the bird fledglings when the small birds have to fly for the first time. There's always, okay, this has never happened before, and I have to just jump and fall and then start flying. And it comes naturally. Now, it relates to us too, because many times in life, in our journeys, we fall before we fly. And it also has a background story of something that happened with a crow, to me with a crow, basically, that you saw a video of. But it's an interesting story, and I'm writing it in, and it's quite a nice overall title for that album. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. The other thing that she came up with was, you open the 2 trays, yeah, so CD, and in the middle, why not, she said, thanks, Catherine, why not have your face coming from a dark background, as if coming out of the CD, right? And just glaring out like that, so into the camera, but into the, like, you open it and the first thing you see is, well, yeah, the album is Seb Morgan, right? So Seb Morgan's there looking at you, and because a booklet comes into a slot in there, a pocket, it's almost like coming out of my head. So so I said, yeah, well, it's not bad, good idea. So here I am, out to try and get that photograph that she imagined, right? So, and that's why I was saying in one of my posts, I was saying, I have to stand in front of the camera, not smile, not be serious, not look angry, not look bored, just be peaceful and look interesting, right? Because it is the photograph that when people open this CD, they'll see like my face is looking out to them, right? And then the book comes out of my head. So I turned my recording studio into a photo studio, right? And I'll show you what I've done with it. This is a recording studio, as you see. There's a massive background that I put up, which we had because of the company, right? And that's part of the recording studio. That's what I'm using. I'm designing the stuff, and basically black background. I tried a blue background, which is that one, but it doesn't quite work with the rest of the cover, how it's been designed in cyan, in this color, in this bluish color. So we decided to go black, right? And me in black. That's why I'm wearing a turtleneck, so that you can't see any of my skin, and the only thing that you can see is my face. Then I'm using a 3-point lighting system, yeah, for the photograph. And this is what's most common in a way for portraits, right? So you got one light there, one light on the other side, yeah? So you illuminate one side of your face and the other side of your face, yeah? And slightly upwards, because the light coming from this position is very flattering on a face, right? If you grab a torch and film yourself and do this with a torch, yeah, you'll see how the shadows change, yeah, and a light coming from here will make you look really old or whatever, and a light coming from here is very flattering. So the idea is to have a nice photograph, right, but also an interesting one. So the list is long, and of course this is as much as I can get top of the range with my stuff, right? If you go to professional studios, they have like flashes facing into reflector umbrellas and a whole load of stuff, and you're sitting on a stool and whatever, and it's amazing, right? But this is as much as I can do with my stuff, which is good enough, and I don't need more. But for example, the light usually is further back, yeah. In my case, I brought it quite forward so that it's really in my face and in my eyes, right? And then that's one light, two, yeah, on the other side, and then the third light usually comes from the back, like that, or the other side. And what it's meant to do, it separates the subject from the background, right? So it'll draw the contour of your head, of your back, yeah. It might put some light on your head like that, or here on the side, and it separates you from the background. In this case, even more it has to, because I'm in black, the background's black, right? And I've placed everything in this position because guess what? That is amazing. Those Veluxes that I put in when I built this place work as that third point of lighting, yeah. Of course, now it's the afternoon and it's winter or autumn, so the sun is disappeared by 5. But in the morning, which is the only time where I can do this, the sun is more or less shining through that window, not direct. Because natural lighting is really good, but if you have the sun direct on your face, it burns the photograph. It's really bad. But natural lighting coming through a window like that and not direct is amazing. It works really well, better than these lights. Now, and then what I'm doing is I'll show you, I'm using this, my camera on a tripod on the side, yeah, on this head, yeah. I've got a really good portrait lens, which is an 82mm lens. 82mm is the length, right? So 50, you can do portraits with 50mm, 82, 100, 200, whatever you like. But I think the main thing is that the lens is prime and not a zoom lens. I'll explain that afterwards. But basically, 50 millimeters is what the human eye sees usually. Yeah, 85 is further away. So basically, the image is going to look closer. It's going to feel closer than the eye can see because it brings it in, right? Because the focal length is further away. Now, the 100 millimeters is even closer. And if you have a 650, you're watching birds, right? So the bird is 100 meters away and it's big like that in your screen or whatever. But you have 650 millimeters, so it's really far away, right? Having said that, going the other way, it starts opening up, right? So it narrows up as you go up, and it opens up as you go down. So let's say down from 50, this is 85. 50 would be good too, but down from 50 would be, I don't know, 24. 24 means the room will start appearing, yeah? If I wanted to take a photograph of this room, like I have done before, I may put that what do you call it? That tripod in the back of the room, really high, and put a 17 millimeter lens on, and it might just get the two walls in and the whole room. Yeah. So you use it to take photography inside homes or inside vehicles or stuff that you need showing everything, and you can't do it with a 85 millimeter, which only shows a portion of it, right? Now, this is 85, which is really good for portraits. Hooked to the camera. What I was saying before is also prime lenses, they have one length. So 85, just 85. Yeah. If you want your subject closer, you have to walk with the camera or have your subject come closer to the lens. Yeah. If it's a zoom lens, you do that, comes closer. But what happens with a zoom lens like that one? Don't know if you can see it. That one is 2470, which means it'll go wide to 24 and narrow to 70. Yeah, in this space, which means inside it will have different glasses. Yeah, so that when you move it, it moves it's like a magnifying glass, and it'll bring the image closer or further away. Now, it's better to use a prime lens which has no moving bits other than focusing and all that, because when you get an image closer mechanically within a lens, you will deform the image, yeah, distort it. Basically, this camera, which is a GoPro, the lens is this size, right? And you're probably seeing a lot of the room, so it's very wide. If you see, I don't know if you can see because I don't know up to where it goes, but let's try something. If I put my hand in the middle of the frame, but by my face, you'll see it one size. But if I start moving it away, as it gets closer to the edge of the frame, it'll get bigger. Yeah, and that's because the wideness of the glass will deform or distort images as they go onto the edges, right? So you'll see, like, I have a massive hand if I get closer to the edge, and if I come to the middle, it'll be normal. Yeah. Now, that happens with faces. If you're zooming in or whatever, you're zooming in, or if you're wide, and the face is close to the camera. So if you want to capture the best possible or the most realistic image, use a prime lens. Now, same for filming, right? Now, no, in this case, but so I have that. Now, hooked onto the camera, I have what's called an intervalometer, right? So this is a remote that I can press and it'll shoot. But also what it does, it's for time-lapse photography, which is what I'm using, or also for, what's it called? Like long, when you trigger and you want long exposure, that's it. So let's say I want to shoot the night sky, or I'm shooting the night lights. You can't see them, yeah, with a bare eye. but you put a long exposure on it, trigger it, and it takes a minute to open and close. And that lets a lot of light in, and you may see a lot of stuff that you don't see with your bare eye, right? Now, in this case, we're using the thing that we use for time lapse. So I started, and I'm asking the intervalometer to take a photograph every 2 seconds, and it's doing it now. You see, so I just stand there, and then I try to be the best model there is. So not smiling, no angry, no serious, peaceful face, looking like, yeah. Like you know what you're doing now, and it keeps shooting, right? Let me stop that. In fact, that's wrong. It should be like that, right? To be able to do it properly, you know? Because I'm not using, you see, I shouldn't use the lights, the artificial lights within the room, right? Now, if you see, this lens has a point where it doesn't shoot anymore. And that's because the focus on the lens it's not a macro lens, so it won't go up to it. It will shoot a couple of feet away, but then it'll stop because it can't focus, because the focus on it is placed automatically. Now I move back, look. You see? And it shoots. Now, I'm going to stop that. And I'm going to show you what happens with the photograph. So, that's me talking into the camera, right? Now, I have my pin on. You see, the light there is not very good, but you should see that a bit of it, because there's still some light left, yeah, there, and a bit there. But anyway, when the light coming through that Velux is bright or brighter, it's really amazing what it does. And you can see it in the photographs I'm posting. Now, what else? So I'm trying to get this photograph done. Yeah, that's it basically. And I've been shooting a lot, because as you can see, a photo every 2 seconds, and then you come in there and download onto your computer 300 photographs, get rid of 240, and then look at 60 and think, and get rid of 40, look at 20 and look, get rid of 10, and then you end up with 2 possibilities, and then come up here and take another 300. So people who know me know that I'm completely obsessive about some stuff. And this is one of them. I need to get this right. So I'll keep trying to get this photograph that Catherine's envisioned for that centerpiece. And of course there is a bit of edit to the picture afterwards. Not much, because the lens is really good. The light is right, yeah, when it is, and the photograph comes out really good. But there is post-production on the photograph. It's clear if you know what you're looking for. There's coloring, there's contrasting, there's a lot of stuff that you can do with a picture after you've taken it raw, right? And on top of it all, for me, there's an extra added thing, which is digitally rebuilding of an eye. If you can see, I don't know if you would be able to see it, but if you can see my left eye, that one, yeah, don't know if you can see it. I was operated on that eye years back because of the work I do with the cars. I had 4 steel shards in it, and the doctor operated it. He took 3 shards out of it and left 1 in, and he said, look, I didn't want to take that last one out because I think you may have lost your vision on the left eye. So I left it in, and the body's going to encapsulate it and it'll be fine. And I thought, well, okay, you're the doctor. So that's what it's done. It encapsulated it, and everything's fine. I haven't. In fact, I'm 53, and I still don't need glasses to read, which is it sounds miraculous, having had those 4 shards in there. But fine, I can see fine, and everything's fine. But when I look at a high-end photograph taken with a really good lens like this one, digitally, it's like looking at a pizza with a piece missing, right? Somebody's eaten a piece of my eye. So some of the processes, post-production, is also rebuilding digitally that portion that is missing, because I want it to look good, and it doesn't, and I don't like it either, right? so because it looks like somebody's chewed a piece of my, like an eye and a Pac-Man. Anyway, Catherine says you can't notice it, but when you're working in there with the eye digitally, you can see it. It's really, really massive hole. So I don't like it. I just basically I rebuild it with a mouse. So that's basically it. And I'll keep shooting and see how it goes. So hope you're all doing well, and see you next time.